What's up?
Happy Boxing Day.
Happy Boxing Day. I actually, believe it or not, forgot that it was Boxing Day.
You've forgotten every day.
I did. I forget. I forgot that this
is.
weekend was Christmas. I forgot that today was Boxing Day. I forgot. But it had to be today anyway for a live stream, because if not, it was going to be a bit. We'll explain that. So, what's up, everyone? I expect a light attendance tonight, and that's totally okay. Oh, Tim.
You
almost,
made it.
Almost didn't make it, but the audio is good. That's all we need to know.
Made it. You barely started.
Skate Charlie, welcome. He's been here for a whole, I assume, at least 5 or 6 minutes.
Thanks for waiting.
Thank you for joining us. John, I don't know if you're still on. I saw this comment come in a little earlier today, but we appreciate you joining. Merry Christmas to you as well. Hopefully everyone had a great Christmas, by the way. We just acknowledged that it was Christmas time, but I'm going to
center us a little bit.
There we go. That feels better.
It does feel better.
That feels a little less chaotic. It's been a kind of a chaotic week. We just got back from Christmas travel. We saw family. We had lovely Christmas so-and-sos, and now we're just diving straight back into the work week. So everything's a little bit nuts today. Kaylee, welcome. Merry Christmas, Boxing Day, whatever. I guess Christmas is technically over now, isn't it? So
not for me.
Should we be saying? Are you? Because you do the 12 days of Christmas.
12 days of Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Brandon from LW Ariel.
From Del W.
Del W. Blah 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 blah. Chaos. Welcome everyone. Yes. Tim's referencing the algorithm. We have to fight it. It's an uphill battle. Everyone give this video, stream, whatever you want to call it, a like, a thumbs up, however you choose to interpret this symbol. That helps us a lot. Okay. So first and foremost, this is probably going to be our last live stream. Well, it is the last live stream for 2023 for sure. So that is important unto itself. But also, this is probably going to be our last live stream for a couple of weeks. More than the usual too, because I'm kicking off the brand new year with oral surgery. So that's going to render me. Now, we know you would probably love to hear from Katie all by herself. She is quite the celebrity starlet as of late. If you haven't seen our most recent vlog, she did a lot of solo vlogging. But
I don't want to prepare.
She doesn't want to have to do the work. So we're going to take probably a couple weeks off.
There is thought that goes into these, in case you haven't noticed.
Well,
and if you have, thanks.
There is thought. It's a chaotic kind of thought.
Yeah. We try to
mime everything. That's right. I could just sit on there and be like.
Or we could just put him on and do some David After Dentist kind of questions.
No, thank you.
Oh, really?
What's your favorite roller coaster? Mine is Expedition Everest.
Is it?
No, it's not.
I didn't think so.
But that's not unlike what you said coming off of your wisdom teeth surgery. Happy holidays, Jamie and Ari. You guys look super cute in your Instagram photos from the Christmas holiday. So we hope you had a lovely holiday season. Am I shaking you?
You are shaking me.
I'm sorry. My foot does this shaking thing.
I felt the earth move under me.
We are okay. So I will say, although we are taking a break from live streams, the vlogs themselves will continue. The live streams will not go away for long. We will be starting back up relatively soon in January, but we are going kind of ham on New Year's Eve, which is the first time in a long time that we have done anything on New Year's Eve, let alone go ham. So
going ham in, small town Hershey.
I think,
not
I
like,
mean, there will be a lot of vlogs from this
Yeah.
small town Hershey expedition. We are going out to Hershey Park for New Year's Eve. We will be in Hershey, the town, not the park, like the actual town proper on New Year's Eve. We will also be sinking some money into a slightly more extraordinary stay in the Hershey area. So there will be a couple of different vlogs coming. But that's all
They'll be
spoilers. There's stuff to come. That's the point. Tonight, we want to kind of focus on the here and now, and the here and now being several years deep into our vlogging journey as this year kind of starts to close out, and looking ahead to the next year because the vlogs will not stop. So before we go anywhere else, our socials, The Real Tim and Katie on Instagram and Threads. We have been relatively active on Instagram recently, and I'm quite proud of us for that. We kind of let the website go, but the Instagram is what helps us grow at the moment. So if you had to pick one or the other, it's going to be Instagram. We also have a Facebook account, which I know some people, especially as we've kind of started moving from haunt to haunt during spooky season, I've noticed a lot more people are more comfortable with Facebook. So if you're following us on Facebook, more power to you. The reels from Instagram don't typically move over to Facebook because the way that Meta works is a suite, but we try to keep up with that. Follow us, keep y'all informed and engaged. Follow us wherever you like. Okay, so when we advertised this live stream a couple of weeks ago, it was looking back and looking forward, and now it's how we've grown.
You thought looking back and looking forward was too long of a title, but it's
a good subtitle.
Not too long of a subtitle.
It's a good subtitle. It's like
he's a weirdo.
Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. Rise of the Machines would be a dumb title, but it's a good subtitle. Okay, so let's start by kind of recapping what we did this year. There was a lot that we did this year for the first time. And that's why we kind of like, even though I know a lot of vloggers are doing their kind of like yearly wrap up, and we will have actually like our 2023 highlight reel out this Thursday as well. It's an annual tradition for us. But we had a lot to talk about in terms of what we've actually accomplished this year because it was a big year for us. So we wanted to kind of talk about the way that our channel has evolved since, I'll say, New Year's Eve 2022, even though we didn't really do anything on New Year's Eve 2022. We didn't have a vlog. We, of course, had our own celebrations in-house, but we didn't do anything for the channel New Year's Eve 2022. 2023 was a very busy year from that point on. So I will start with what I know some people are super interested in and other people are like, again. But I promise you for the latter group, it will not be a long conversation because we have recapped this a lot the past couple of months. Haunts. I'm starting with this so that I get this over quickly for those of you who are sick of hearing about it. I will say too, though, haunts are a huge part of our channel. So if you're here and you don't totally love haunt season, I don't know how you found us, but bless you for sticking around because there have been a lot of haunts this year. I think actually, speaking of haunt people, I believe Kayla is one of our young haunters that follows us. Welcome into the chat, Kayla. You joined at just the right time. So recapping some of the things that blew up for us this haunt season in a good way, not in like a, it blew up in my face. So both of us got a chance this year to try scare acting, it wasn't even just like something that we kind of sort of wanted to do. It was something that we were getting a lot of external requests to do. A lot of the people that we met and engaged with during haunt season were asking like, when are you guys going to scare act? When are you guys going to get suited up? When are you going to... It has its pros and cons. It's a lot of work. And it gave us mad respect for all the haunters, especially young ones like Kayla who have a lot more energy than I do and have to push a lot harder to get through the night.
Y'all are an inspiration and also kind of scare me a little bit with how much energy you have.
Tim from Storming Thrills here, he's also a haunter. He joined Field of Screams this past year. Tim, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that was your first time scare acting. I don't know if you did Dark Knight scare acting the prior year, but I'm pretty sure that was your first official like haunt experience. So let me know if I'm wrong. But this was definitely our first haunt experience. Me on the left, as
just in case you couldn't tell.
Yeah,
that was Tim on the left.
Yeah, that's me on the left. You're on the right. Just in case you couldn't.
Just in case you couldn't tell.
Me on the left, in my character was Twinkle Coldstone. So our most recent vlog is from Laurel's House of Horror. Their Christmas event was called A Christmas Nightmare. Everything's got a holiday theme. So I went in. I was actually supposed to do this in October, but I actually think it worked out even better in December.
Pretty fun to do it for Christmas.
Yeah, I feel like I'm obviously I would have had a different character if I had gone in October. But my character for Laurel's House of Horror was Twinkle Coldstone on the left there. I had to shave my beard, which was probably the biggest drawback of the entire thing.
Dramatic.
But it did grow back again in like 5 days. So I'm getting quicker with the beard regrow, which is good. I might be able to do this weekly if I needed to. Laurel put on an amazing Christmas show. If you haven't seen that vlog, please go check it out because I really do want to shout them out for what a great job they did this holiday season. Katie on the right was Irene at Field of Screams in Pennsylvania. Both of these, by the way, are officially, I think at this point, our home haunts. They're about equidistant in different directions. Laurel is an hour south, Field is an hour northwest. And we frequent both of them, and we love working with all the staff at both of these haunts. But this is the first time for either of us slipping into character, seeing what they do, and I think we can both agree that we have a whole new respect for.
Yeah, a lot of fun, whole new respect.
We are doing great, Kayla. Hope you are doing well also. We are tired though because it's been a busy year. Yeah. Yep. So we did do a whole.
Didn't know where you were going with that.
Yeah, sentence. I know. I kind of went off. I kind of went off the side.
Or talking about scare acting.
Scare acting. I was gonna say we did do I guess whole shift. I had a different word in my head and it just went totally.
You did a whole shift. I cut out like 2.5 hours in.
Yes. Okay.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. That's probably what threw me off.
I'm trying to pick it back up.
Because I got. I'm just so tired, guys. Yeah, I did a whole shift for 3 hours, but it was a shorter shift because it was a holiday event. You did. Did you do 3 hours or did you do 2.5 hours?
I did 2.5 hours because it was like 6 to like 8:30, 8:45.
So I will say this: at the end of the day, what I was trying to get to before I had like some kind of stroke
I don't know what happened.
was it was a lot more work than I was expecting. I mean, you think about if you go through a haunted house, like and we know this, right? Because we do a lot of haunted houses. We know that a lot goes into it. We know intellectually that it's more than just boo and running away. It's also like you got to know where the cut throughs are. You can try to like triple scare someone if you know exactly. And I got Katie a couple really good times at Laurel's House of Horror because I quickly learned where the cut throughs were. Oh, that was the other thing. I had a lot more space to cover than you did. So I had to be running back and forth between. Yeah, it was a lot. But in those short shifts, I think we have a whole new appreciation for the haunt industry as a whole and all the scare actors that we've interacted with and all the scare actors we haven't interacted with because it's such a demanding job and it's a lot more than going boo, as we said. So not to eat up our entire live stream on this experience, but I think it taught us a lot. It was our first time doing haunt acting on both sides, and I think it will definitely not be our last, but I'm not going to be doing any more of it anytime soon because at the end of a busy haunt season, I just kind of want to sleep for a week. So we also, speaking of haunts and traveling to other haunts in the area, this one's a little bit outside the area. This one was from Fright Farm, but we actually went to quite a few different haunts this season as media guests, which was a very big and honorable. I guess it was a big honor. Notable. Maybe you should just talk.
I'm trying to follow.
It was a big thing for us this season to be able to travel between haunts that had invited us out for media events. We did not. I mean, we've never had this kind of a season before.
No, yeah.
Like we've been invited. I think last year we were invited to Field of Screams media event on opening night. That was a big deal for us because it was the first time that had ever happened to us. Yeah. This year, believe it or not, I know we did a lot of Behind the Screams featurettes, which is kind of like our little brand, our sub brand for all these different haunts that we go to whenever we get to peek behind the curtain and see what's going on. We got to see a lot more of what goes on behind the curtain in each of these different, and every haunt is kind of unique too. So they were all different types of videos, but we got so busy this year and we had to plan out so early that there were a couple of instances where we were reached out to about attending a haunt as media and we had to say no, which killed us because we hate saying no to people who invite us places.
Only pretty much open weekends, and that's the only time we have to give. Our schedule gets filled up pretty quickly. Yeah. I didn't know you did.
Oh yeah, he did. Oh. Brandon did do scare acting. Yeah.
Cool.
And he's got
you've got the height for
he's got a full family to go home to every night. So that's family. A full family. Well,
as opposed to a half family.
We're a half family. We're a small family of two. But when we go home at night, we can knock out. That's not the case when you have little ones to go home to. So, Brandon, you have my respect and my congratulations for making it through that.
Roar and boo are curse words. I probably agree
that's
with that.
fair. Oh,
that's
Scaredy
great.
Bears. Scaredy Bears are a creation by our friend Sapphire at Field of Screams. She has a small shop on Etsy. I think, spoiler alert, she is actually one of our creator highlights at the end. So we will give you guys all the information on how to get your own Scaredy Bears. But yes, definitely, Kayla, awesome. Get Scaredy Bears. They're adorable and monstrous at the same time. And I missed 2 tickets coming in. Jen, Vanessa! Okay, so we had a lot of media events this year. We had to say no to a couple of them. That's pretty much the whole point.
Yep.
So we were really, really thankful to have been invited.
Was awesome.
It was awesome, and we're hoping it will continue to be awesome.
It was tiring, but wouldn't really change it, except for getting sick. That's the only thing I would change.
And that's something that also, we didn't really talk about this as a bullet point, but that's something that we kind of want to look into for 2024 is like padding in a little bit of time for rest, because we never ever do. And then we're always getting sick. Like usually in October, after we've been to 2 or 3 different haunts for the season, or maybe even as many as 5, and we've just been exposed to so many different things. We've been out in the cold, someone's getting sick. So how do we plan for that? And that is something that we're working on. We did our first holiday haunts this year as well. We mentioned that we were doing the holiday, or I mentioned that I was doing the holiday haunt for my scare acting. So that was different, but fun.
It was
very much a fun way to celebrate the holiday season. That was we did back-to-back one weekend after. We actually went on a family trip, right, for a week in the Virgin Islands, which was great. Then we came back and we literally like the very next day went to Field of Screams holiday haunt, which was like the best decision we ever could have made, because we came back with like oh man, I'm tired. I don't know if we have the energy for this. And then we just like right back into it. Everyone's so energized to see us, which is always very sweet of we call them the Field fam. Always very sweet of the Field fam to get excited when they see us. And it gets us pumped up too, because not like we wouldn't have loved being there to begin with, but it was just like that extra kick. And then we had like the best time I think we've had maybe even all year at Field's holiday haunt. Same goes for Laurel's House of Horror the following weekend. Mm-hmm. We went down, we were actually there for 9 hours, which went by like that. Yep. Both events had their own Krampus. Both of them had evil Santas, or drunk Santa in the case of Field. Yep. We also saw our friend George off for retirement. He was drunk Santa this year. So if you haven't seen these vlogs, don't let me spoil them for you. By all means, do check them out. But highly recommend, and I hope that we see more holiday haunts begin to pop up. I have seen a lot of holiday haunts for the first time this year.
Penhurst does
Penhurst is doing their first holiday, or has done at this point, yeah. Bennett's Curse has been doing holiday haunts for a while. Bennett's Curse, but we've never been to Bennett's Curse, so we wouldn't know it from the standard season if we weren't told what the differences were. Lincoln Mill Haunt in Philadelphia, which is another one we really like to go explore. They did their first holiday haunt. Kim's Crypt did Kim's Christmas.
Oh, yeah,
Cryptmas.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of different haunts opening up to holidays this year, and I guess all those events are done now, so I won't advertise them to you. But I think next year
we might try to make
a couple new ones, instead of just, not that we don't love going to the old ones that we've been to 100 times, but we really would like to explore some new territory too. Last but not least, for haunt season, we did get a new camera this year. If you've been seeing our vlogs, if you haven't seen our vlogs, go check them out, because I'm pretty proud of the haunt season vlogs we put out this year. But if you haven't seen them, This is a Phasm cam. It's made by Ghost Stock exclusively. You got to order it. It's a proprietary piece of technology from their website. It's not designed to do what we do with it. We needed effectively
like
a night vision, like a deer cam. And if you type those things into Amazon, you will get the weirdest results that do not pertain to you, have the battery life you need, etc., etc. But you type in ghost camera, jackpot. So we have a night vision camera, which is supposed to actually be able to detect ghosts. We haven't used it for that purpose, but it revolutionized the way we shoot vlogs for haunt season. Now, I will say the microphone on this thing is absolute crap. It's horrible. But we built our own little mount with a GoPro. That the GoPro collects audio. The Phasm, which is that camera, it does collect night vision video, which looks really, really good, shoots in 4K. It's everything we could have hoped for. We just had to tweak it a little bit for our purposes. And I think we're pretty happy with how the vlog's been turning out. So the comments have been blowing up.
I know, we're having a whole...
I'm having a hard time keeping track of them.
I think, oh yeah, Tim Storm and Thrill said he might be a
slider for Dark Nights. That would be cool.
And I think Kayla had mentioned she wanted to be a slider too.
Oh, wait, where did I miss
that? Yep, there we go. So there was this whole side conversation about how cool sliders are, which is true. I think they're a fun element and technique. Yes.
There's many different instances.
Kaylee loves seeing the sliders.
Kaylee actually has a love-hate relationship with the sliders because when we took her to Hallow Scream at SeaWorld for her very first scary spooky season experience ever, the sliders were her worst nightmare. But then all of a sudden at Dark Nights.
I think the slider got me worse at SeaWorld. You have video of it.
I have some video. Oh yeah, Gage, I forgot you were a Lincoln Mill. You're a haunter at Lincoln Mill? I can't quite remember, but I remember you had been to Lincoln Mill. I remember that.
Well, if you're reading the comment, it said it turned out amazing. Sadly, couldn't make it, but the vids and buddies men that were acting said the lines were down the block. Okay. Yeah. So it sounds like you couldn't make it, but maybe that's one we'll try to check out.
I am super excited to do Lincoln Mill's haunt at some point.
Yeah, we got to do regular season too.
We just have there's so much on our haunt bucket list at this point, and it grows every year.
And the season's so short.
Okay, so haunts. Check that box.
Yep. The last time we'll bring up haunt season
in 2023.
Next haunt season.
No, not even close. But it's the last time we'll talk about it in 2023.
I was gonna say 2023.
That much I promise. Theme parks, new adventures far and near. So this will be a shorter recap because admittedly, when we started, which was in June of 2020, we were focused on theme parks almost exclusively. We did the occasional spooky thing, and actually our spooky season content in 2020 was largely bad because we couldn't shoot much of anything we were attending. Everything had to be shot on the midway. We were just attendees, and that was totally fine with us because we just wanted to experience things and explore things. I want to go back to Legends of the Fog too because we haven't been there since 2020. Anyway, when we started our channel, we were all theme parks all the time. And I will say, I think it's probably more, I think this year was more of a 50-50 split between haunts and theme parks because we had so many off-season events that they almost lapped the theme parks. Not quite, but very, very close. So theme parks are always going to be a part of our channel, always going to be a part of our lives. I will say they are slipping out of the majority of our content, but that doesn't mean that we didn't have some incredible theme park adventures.
I mean, we did release a whole Disneyland series very beginning of this year. So
we did. So
it's still there.
That's probably the only reason it's 50-50 and not 75-25. So we did, in addition to Disneyland, visit some brand new parks this year. One, and arguably the most notable, was our first international theme park, and that was Efteling. So we went all the way to the Netherlands to experience our very first international theme park. I can't speak to the experience enough, and we have previously on other live streams, and I still don't feel like we covered it aptly. It was the most amazing theme park I think we've ever visited for many, many different reasons. I think they outpaced Disney in my book. I think it's my favorite theme park in the world now. But I've not been to so many other theme parks, and we've got so many others to explore.
Disney Sea could take it. could beat F20.
Not that you'll know because they banned vlogging, so so you'll never see us create a vlog from there. But we do intend to go eventually.
I could still say whether I liked it or not.
Chad and Vanessa just got back from Tokyo Disneyland, and they have a couple of new videos coming out every once in a while. I don't want to commit them to anything because I know they're backed up, but I think they did say that they had shot some stuff at Tokyo Disneyland and might have something out there to see. So, anyway, check them out, but also check Efteling out if you've not been, or if you're looking forward to doing something there someday, or exploring, experiencing something in another country. Efteling is an amazing place to start. We also went to a couple of ride openings for I think the first time in our like theme park explore and experience, not just the vlogs. Like, we have been pass holders for Hershey for a while. We did Candemonium's opening in 2020, but it wasn't really an opening. It was more of they promised first to ride access for a certain tier of pass holder, but then COVID hit and they had to like water it down to the point where it was.
You were in, it was not, they were trying not to draw big crowds.
Yeah, they were deliberately trying to de-hype it so that they wouldn't have people crashing the gate.
And we were only supposed to ride it once, but because our picture didn't turn out, they actually let us ride it again back in that day. But anyway, for this year, we did get first to ride access for both
Wildcats Revenge at Hershey Park, Dark Coaster at Busch Gardens, and we were there I think we were there the weekend before opening weekend for each of these attractions. Yeah. And at Busch Gardens, they usually allow you to film on ride. They unfortunately weren't allowing us to film on ride because of the member preview.
Hadn't done their media.
Yeah, they did the media event after. So, and I will say we'll get to that element too, but that is something that we would like to change in 2024 as well. It was interesting and exciting to be some of the first to sit on each of these attractions. And Wildcats Revenge, hands down the best ride at Hershey Park now.
Yep.
Candemonium is right behind, so if they keep adding new coasters, you got to assume that they're just going to get better and better and better. But for in the interim, I think Wildcats Revenge is the best thing they've ever done at the park. Dark Coaster is I like Dark Coaster.
Yeah,
I like Dark Coaster for what it is. I would have preferred to have a dark ride there, but I know that financially and logistically they can't do that anymore.
I guess I'm glad they didn't just totally scrap a cool facade and kept kind of
been sitting empty for so long,
alive and stuff. So it's still cool.
I missed this one. No, I didn't miss that one. I missed this one talking about Gage's experience
and sliders. Yeah, more.
Not an actor for the mill. Okay. Yeah, when you start acting there, let us know what your set times are. That's what they are, right? For scare actors, set times. Let us know what your set times are. We'll try to pop through while you're there. See if we can get a good scare out of you. We know Gage mostly from Field of Screams, so at this point, him transitioning over to Lincoln Mill would be a fun, happy coincidence. We also did experience Carowinds for the first time, and I will say, mixed reviews.
Yeah.
It was not, I don't think it wasn't the best Cedar Fair park we've been to even, because we do really like King's Dominion for what it is. I think Carowinds was really cool and had a lot of really cool attractions, including a lot of record-breaking coasters. There were some rides that I absolutely loved and would do 100 times over again. Believe it or not, Fury 325 was not one of them. For Katie it was.
I liked Fury, but I have no idea if I rode it before it cracked, so That's true. That's true. Literally,
you could have written the one that was on the crack. Like, we were there a day before that crack was noticed and newsworthy. A day, a single 24-hour day. So we have no idea whether it was already cracked by the time.
I don't think it was 24 hours.
It was 24 hours.
No, we went on a Friday. My family went on a Monday.
They were on there while it was cracked. It was that week. It was only made news after 3 days after someone had reported it. And that's when it started making the rounds.
Well, it could have been cracked when we were on it. Who knows?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Logistically, the timing would have. I mean, we didn't feel the buckle or the bend, but.
Well, I don't think you would have noticed it. I like Fury 325. I liked it better than Intimidator 305 for sure.
I know everyone wants us to make it up to Cedar Point. It's on the list, but it keeps getting pushed back because there's so many other. I will say this as we transition away, because we're about to actually move away from theme parks. But I will say, of theme parks, there's a difference between a theme park and an amusement park. And although we very much love roller coasters and love going to amusement parks to knock out some killer coaster credits, most, not all, most of Cedar Fair's parks, Six Flags parks, fall very much on the amusement park side.
They're starting to get more themed, or at least better themed.
Knott's Berry Farm is just in a league of its own.
We're going to take Knott's Berry Farm and we're going to move it over here because it doesn't isolate belong with Cedar Fair parks. It's its own
Cedar
thing.
Flare, Six Flags.
Cedar Flare?
I guess Cedar.
That's what you just said.
Why you got to call out my strokes?
I don't know. You're having issues.
Cedar Flags.
Cedar Flags.
There we go.
That's it.
We'll end
I think
with
that's
that.
what he was trying to say.
The combination. Yeah. So, not that we don't love roller coasters or that we don't intend to visit these parks, but in terms of why we haven't been to Cedar Point yet, there is a lot more draw for us to go to some place like Dollywood or Silver Dollar City, or even that new, what's it called in Iowa, like the Lost Island or Adventure Island or something like that. All of those,
or even like Holiday World.
Yeah, like something that has a little bit more thematic atmosphere, I guess is the best way to put it. Anyways, we'll make it everywhere eventually. It's a goal to do everything before we die. Whether or not we do it is wholly dependent on how much they add to each park every year. In the meantime, we go other places too, and have been other places this year. So speaking of travel as a whole, not just to haunts or theme parks, but just anywhere. We did go to a lot of new states this year that we've not been together. I've been to Las Vegas before, which is where this screen grab is from, but this was the first time that Katie had ever been to Las Vegas or Nevada proper. This is the first time that we've been together, and this is the first time I had control over my own itinerary because I went last when I was very, very young. North Carolina was a new state as well.
New state for us together, to be clear.
Yes, new state for us together.
I've been to North Carolina many times.
I've driven through North Carolina quite a few times, but I don't count drive-throughs as visiting a state, really. If I had to, in order to be like, I've set foot in this state. I used the porta potty in this state.
I also don't count drive-throughs, but I've been to like the beaches in North Carolina with my family, so
yeah,
I counted that as North Carolina. But I had never been to Charlotte before, and that's where we went.
Charlotte, North Carolina. Technically, we were in South Carolina too when we were at Carowinds, so that's 3 states, and then there was Hawaii, which was a huge thing for us, where you had been before too. I had never been to Hawaii.
We were in Hawaii at the tail end of 2022, but the vlogs came out all in 2023.
Yep.
So that's why we're counting them.
Yep, and it'll be the same for this year because we will have to release our highlight reel this week in order to get it out before the year's end. So our New Year's vlogs will start in 2024. But they'll be from 2023, but it's like a fiscal year.
We'll spend the very end of 23 in Hershey and also the very beginning of the new year in Hershey. So it's
true. So it'll be a Hershey turnover.
There we go.
And Hawaii, I very much think of as being 2023 because that's, as the year was ending, we were sitting in Hawaii. As the year was beginning, we were we were in Disneyland. We were back on the continental U.S. I think we were actually home by New Year's.
Oh no, we were home by New Year's.
By New Year's, we were home.
That's true.
But all of these vlogs dropped in. I mean, I was reviewing all of this footage in 2023 for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hawaii was great. Glad we talked about it.
I mean, we've done a whole live stream on Hawaii.
We did a whole live stream on pretty much everywhere we went this year. But Hawaii was, I think, my favorite state I've ever been to. I can't believe it's even a state. It really shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, but we're not going to get into that right now. But we did love it, and we wish the best for Hawaii.
And we very much want to go back and plan to go back. We also went international, as we talked about on the theme park stretch, but we didn't just go to theme parks. It's just that the vlogs were only theme parks and theme park related. We did spend a whole day in Amsterdam, 2 days, actually, technically in Amsterdam. Some of that you've never seen before. You've definitely never seen this screen grab before. Some of that will be embedded in our highlight reel from this year because while we didn't shoot a whole vlog and didn't feel like it was worth cobbling together, 5-10 minutes of footage here and there, we did have a lot of fun in Amsterdam. That was completely unrelated.
We could have made an Amsterdam vlog with how much we did manage to actually do.
Oh, 100%. But we were tapped out.
We opted not to bother with it, and I think that was better for our enjoyment of.
We were tapped out. We also had
we had like 5 theme park vlogs by then.
Yeah, we had private guides throughout our entire Amsterdam experience, which was wonderful. Highly I mean, it's probably cost us an arm and a leg. I'm not sure because it was all packaged together, but it was an incredible experience. The only thing about that was that we weren't sure how comfortable our guides were going to be if we were like filming them talking the entire time, and there's literally just us. So like someone's having a conversation with me, and I'm like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's annoying. I can already tell you that.
So,
but if you watch a highlight reel, which please do, they always get like 100 views, and Tim works really hard on them. So if you could spend,
I don't expect them to get
4
many
minutes
views
on that would be great. But if you notice any biking, that's definitely the Netherlands. If you notice any, us on a nice boat going through canals, that's also the Netherlands. So that's stuff you wouldn't get to see on the vlog in the vlogs otherwise.
And this also, the U.S. Virgin Islands, we didn't vlog any of this because this was a family trip, and typically we leave the family out of our vlog life and kind of keep the two separated. But we did take a couple of clips, and we have a couple of reels to drop from this experience.
I took a ton of footage snorkeling and
you did take a ton of footage. You did, yep. Katie does snorkeling. I do not do snorkeling. You may have noticed that in Hawaii if you followed us back when we dropped Hawaii vlogs. I don't do head underwater.
Head underwater. Yeah.
So there's that. But that will also be in our highlight reel. So that, not even technically a state, it's a U.S. territory.
Yep. They drive on the left side.
They do. It's stupid and weird.
But their cars are still left drivers.
Yep. The car drives. The driver sits on the left side like they would in America. Continental America. But the road is, I mean, it's just, it feels wrong.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like, oh, it's just flipped. It feels like actively wrong because your cars are the same, but your whole roadways are different. Like, turning circles go the opposite way around.
Right. And we haven't driven, I mean, I've been in a car in like the UK where they do left-sided driving as well, but the car is opposite, so that you don't get that. You get that sensation of like it's truly different. I'm on the right side of the car. But anyway, we didn't drive. His dad drove, so we were good.
Tim made a point of saying it's going to be a sweet turnover.
Nice.
That's
a good one.
See what you did there. Yeah, as far as USVI is concerned, we had a lot of experiences that were very unique and special to the island and the island life. We just didn't vlog any of them. But I don't think that'll be our last time going for a couple of reasons. So we may vlog it at some point.
Yep.
Let's talk about our channel specifically, not just the things we vlog, but also the ways that we grew and the things that changed for us over the course of 2023. We kind of touched on this last year too, in the different ways that my editing style has changed or the way that our vlog cadence has changed. There's a lot more of that to talk about in 2023. So we did start doing conventions, which was new for us. We did, I think, 4 conventions total. We vlogged 3 of them.
And let me be clear, conventions aren't new to us. We've been going to conventions since like 2015 together. But what did you do? Like an awesome con highlight reel one year?
I did.
Yeah.
That's gone now. It's not on our channel.
Yeah, it's not even on our channel. It was the first time like doing like a actual vlog.
Yeah, we have been doing this year. Yeah, MegaCon was in March, which was so we did not only several conventions, but several for the first time, and also several different convention management teams, like the organizations that manage the conventions. We were trying our hand at different types to see like, can we trust this group to put on a good show? And I think the answer is pretty resounding yes on all fronts, but there are some that we learned, you can expect this kind of like organization or this kind of like setup or so on and so forth. So we worked with
we didn't work with.
We didn't work with.
We were not needed guests for any of these conventions.
No. We were attending conventions run by creation for Star Trek Las Vegas, which was this. This is, if you don't know who these people are, I'm not going to tell you. You need to go watch Star Trek Voyager immediately. But we did do Star Trek Las Vegas, which was a first time for us, and our first time doing a creation event. Altered Reality Entertainment did Contropolis. They're mostly known for Rhode Island Comic-Con. So if you've been to that one, you've been to an alternate reality entertainment convention. We did Monster Mania for the first time, which was a small family-run convention, which blew up and is now available. They did
like 4 times a year?
Maryland show, which is now, it's gone. Like this was the last, we went to the first and last Maryland show for us because the venue closed down. And they don't have a secondary agreement set up with a Maryland venue yet. But they have an Oaks, Philadelphia convention. They have a twice annual Cherry Hill, New Jersey convention. So we went to a small convention. And then Fan Expo, which you mentioned first, and we did first, but I got to last, runs Fan Expo Philly, Fan Expo Dallas, all the biggies throughout the country, right? And then MegaCon, which for some reason is just called MegaCon, I assume because they acquired it at some point. So we did a lot. Sapphire, I meant to acknowledge Sapphire when she popped in, but I didn't get around to it because I was on a rant. Welcome in. Going to IAPA in 2024.
Well, they say you have to be invited, so probably not.
Well, here's the thing. You don't have to be invited to attend. You do have to be invited to have film. A camera. To have any kind of camera, you have to have a specific media badge and invitation. Spoilers. It is on our calendar, and that's all I can tell you right now. But we are intending to experience Trans World East Coast.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, welcome, Ken, by the way.
Yes. We would love to do.
It's very much something we would like to do. I will close out this particular bullet by saying we thoroughly enjoy. I think there were some conventions like Star Trek Las Vegas we tried to vlog. We found out very quickly because of the venue, the setting, the type of convention it is, it's very difficult to vlog without being in people's way. So we stopped. The other 3 are much larger or more easily vloggable, I guess. And we had, I think, 3 pretty good vlogs from those experiences. So if you're interested in seeing what any of those conventions are like, check out our 2023 convention vlogs. I think I built a playlist. If not, I will build a playlist tonight. I will make it happen. It's not that hard.
Oh.
So we will keep doing conventions in 2024 for sure. And one of them may or may not be a Trans World East Coast Philly show, first of its kind, yada, yada, yada. We also this year, I think, worked really hard. I will say this, the balance to vlog or not to vlog, that's the best way of putting it that we could figure out. Work-life balance is another way we talked about putting this. What it actually is that vlogging will slow you down. When you're doing new things, and having new experiences, it'll tucker you out. It takes a lot of social energy. It takes a lot of physical energy, and it distracts you. It takes you out of the moment for certain things. So part of why we didn't vlog in Amsterdam is because we decided earlier on in the trip, like, we need to figure out when we're going to say, okay, this is a no vlog day, and give ourselves a little bit of a break. Because honestly, and some of this you can probably tell in our live streams, but like when we are vlogging and vlogging and vlogging and we just go, we get tuckered out and we start picking at each other. And that's not reflective of what we want to put out there in the world. I edit some of it down. I do, because like some of it is just like, you brought up that thing from 3 days ago. Why'd you do that? But a lot of it is just like, we're tired and it's easier to make fun of someone when you're tired. So we try to take a deep breath every once in a while and remember why we are doing all of this and that it is supposed to be fun. And if it stops being fun, we have to take a break. And that's what we do. We try to pace ourselves out now so that we don't go so hard on vlogging that it becomes not fun.
Yeah.
And that took a while to learn.
I think we definitely, I felt like we did this better this year than we have ever in years past. So looking forward to maybe seeing you there.
Maybe.
Yeah. So Are we perfect every time? No, of course not. There are definitely some trips where we wore ourselves out. We definitely wore ourselves out during haunt season and stuff like that. But I do.
But in a good way. We didn't.
Yeah.
I think we had planned. So
I will say when we did feel.
You finish your thing, and then
yeah, when we did feel our bodies breaking, or when we did, get physically ill, and it was like, do we want to push through, or do we want to cancel? And we decided to cancel. So like, I gotta pat ourselves on the back for that. I've mentioned before, I feel like our, decision, not to vlog at all during a family trip was, a nice break. Our decision to, out of the 5 days we had at Efteling, we only vlogged 2 days. So we really, and we had technically 2 days at Toverland and only vlogged, one of them. So I don't think you even mentioned Toverland. Toverland was another international theme park.
I did forget to mention Toverland. Yeah.
We had two.
We did hit 2 international theme parks.
So
there are vlogs out for everything now.
We'll probably never be perfect at the balance thing, but I think we are getting better, and we're listening to each other better. We're listening to our bodies better. And I think we're also trying to, which I think Tim will get to eventually in these slides, to working on planning out the content a little better. And yeah. So anything else to say on balance?
Well, I was just going to say what you were getting at with haunt season. Like, we burn ourselves out on haunt season every year, but not in like
it's still like a satisfying way.
Yeah, it's not like we're run down and ready to kill each other at the end of it. Like, I mean, sometimes just looking at, 2022, when we went down to Halloween Horror Nights, and we had a wonderful time at Halloween Horror Nights, don't get me wrong, but it was pouring rain. Every day we were there, which is not uncommon for Florida, but even for Florida, a lot of Central Floridians that we know were talking about how horrible the weather had been. And that was our only vlog for that event, was just a pouring rain experience and what that looked like. And I had a meltdown about, I was like, we're not gonna have a vlog. It's gonna look awful if we do. It's gonna be terrible because it's raining. I was counting on scare zone footage to make this interesting because you can't shoot in the houses and yada, yada, yada. And I didn't have that happen this year. And the reason why is because, number one, yes, we are content planning. We do have ways to plug holes if we need them, because we're thinking ahead about things that might happen. But also, we just care a little less.
Yeah.
It's more important to us to do really well with the vlogs that, people that invite us out, that are hosting us as media, that want to showcase what they're doing at haunts. That was really important to me. So I was really pushing myself hard on those particular vlogs. But it's also like the balance between, okay, we're going to vlog this event, and then we're going to take 2 days to just chill, and then I'm going to start working on the edit, made for a much better edit and made for a much better balance over the course of the week. I do have kind of a rhythm now. I do most of the editing for our channel, and
all of it.
Katie does. Well,
sometimes
you do reels and stuff, and we'll talk about that too. Anyway, we found a much better balance this year, and I think we were much happier and healthier over the course of the year because of us finding that balance. So
there were times in the past that I really resented the YouTube channel, but not so much this year. That's just me being honest.
Gage, have you been in any of our vlogs? I feel like we've captured you at Field once or twice, but I wouldn't know because everyone's dressed up in makeup, and I don't know all the characters off the top of my head.
When we see you guys in like normal looking, not
that has happened before, where like
I don't know who you are.
A haunt actor who knows us will approach and be like, "Hi," and we'll be like, "Hi."
And then you guys are like, "I'm the guy with the pig mask in the kitchen," and we're like, "Oh."
Yeah.
And
then we know who you are.
So.
Anyway. So to dovetail off of what Katie was saying about,
it was right.
It was literally
next.
The next part. Yeah, because
cool.
I figured it was just gonna flow, and it kind of did. We did embrace an upload schedule this year. So we don't publish our upload schedule. We don't say new videos every week. We don't promise that you're going to get a video every week at 3 p.m. on Thursday, but we try to give you a new video every week at 3 p.m. on Thursday. When we miss one, we miss one, and we just learn to live with that. Because this is not our full-time gig. We do work 9 to 5s that can be somewhat exhausting from time to time. We do have like other places to be, events to attend. We have a gym membership. We got priorities outside of the channel. But embracing an upload schedule, I will say this, did give me kind of the rhythm I needed. Because now, I'll tell you, my my Saturdays or my Fridays, as the case may be, are usually shooting. My Sundays are usually importing and labeling footage. My Monday nights, Tuesday nights, and Wednesday nights are editing. And Thursday, the vlog goes live. I chill for 2 days until the next time we shoot something.
Yep.
And if we go away, like we knew we were going to go away to USVI for the family trip, the content calendar that we built out allows us to kind of figure out, well, this is where the hole's going to be because we're not going to shoot anything this week. What can we film, 2 days in a row this previous weekend so that I'll have something to edit during that week, and so on and so forth. You do have to take breaks from time to time. I'm not saying that you shouldn't or that you can't. I'm just saying that having an upload schedule makes it a lot easier to balance your mental health against anything else you want to do for the channel. So whereas I previously thought like making an upload schedule would stress me out more because it would commit me to something that I had to do every week or even twice a week, I actually find myself to be more relaxed and rested because of the upload schedule. So it gives me less to freak out about on the job,
Yeah.
So in case you're wondering, every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we try to release a video. We did hit an impressive milestone for us this year, 250,000 hours of watch time, which means regardless of the videos or who's watching them, all of you have put in a cumulative 250,000 hours watching our content, which is more than I think we ever thought we'd see from anyone.
That's pretty exciting.
That was a pretty big deal. And I know that it's not, 100,000 subscribers and it's not 7 million hours, which I'm sure is what a lot of creators have these days, but it meant a lot to us. So we have to thank you all for that. Whoever's sitting in, whether you've watched one of our videos before or not, we thank you just for watching this live stream because it does all add up 1 minute at a time.
Does watching live stream count as watch time?
Eventually, not during the live, but like if you cycle back. So a lot of our Dutch fans, because they watch the live streams on playback, they have been helping that metric.
Nice. It is a lot of work.
But like I say, having the schedule did weirdly make it easy. It's very contradictory, but it works. I don't hate the way it works.
And the thing is, like, if the video is not ready for Thursday, you're like, it's just not ready for Thursday, and we don't like freak out about it.
Did we see you at Patty's Day this year, Gage? Because we did go to our second St. Patty's Day event of our field careers was this year. I feel like we might have caught you.
Ooh, entertainment production company. That's a lot of work. Hope it's fun though.
Godspeed. We also tried to fool around with Instagram a little bit more this year, in a lot of different ways, but more so just because like we
kind of developed a pattern of having like a reel that teased what vlog was coming out soon,
or went hand in hand with the vlog that had just come out. We just put out a lot of reels from Laurel's House of Horror because we spent 9 hours there, so it was easy.
Really nice like holiday Instagram presence. We were just talking about this like yesterday, I think, where we had a couple reels from every place we went, and some of them didn't do too badly. I mean, if we have a reel that gets over 1,000 views, we're like, cool. That's nice.
I mean, we're still a small channel. No matter what you think about our channel, I will tell you objectively we are a small channel. And Instagram is basically, at this point, it's kind of keeping pace with the channel. Which for Instagram, like you need probably 30,000 followers before any sponsors will start looking at you in a meaningful way. Not that we need sponsors to validate ourselves, but like to be a larger or a media savvy channel, you need to have a seismic audience. And we don't have that, and we're comfortable with that. But we did blow up on Instagram for a couple different reels we put out this year. We did grow a following a little bit. We did introduce ourselves to new people and new groups, and that was cool. And so once we started seeing that kind of connection, we tried to focus a little bit more on putting our time and energy into Instagram, even though it basically meant ignoring the website for a while. We're going to try to be better about balancing that in 2024 too. But I did like what we did with 2023's Instagram presence. I will also say you did a lot more reels this year. Well, you shot a lot or content solo.
I did shoot a lot of reel content because while he's got the camera, we definitely rewatch or just watch vlogs. Yep. We put on our own vlogs. Yes, we're those people.
We do.
Tim's
Sometimes
like,
it's just for the memories, though. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not usually for watch time. It's usually like.
But sometimes you're like, it's one away from 200
I
views.
did-
Let's
I-
put it on.
I did do that for some of our underperforming vlogs. I'm like, if we just put it on, maybe it'll count. But anyway.
But yeah, I did shoot some more reels. It kind of became like my project to make sure I was taking enough pictures and getting enough videos, because it is hard to manage.
It's hard
like,
to do
he
both.
is our primary camera shooter, and it's definitely hard for him to do both camera and thank you, Kaylee, camera and phone stuff. So.
And I mean, a lot of channels that we follow, and a lot of theme park channels in particular, they do find a way to do both. I have no idea how. A lot of times it is a single shooter going out and doing all of these things, taking pictures, getting reels, putting together vlogs. And usually one of those three is the primary, and the other two are just like, we get what we get, but they still manage to get a lot, and we don't. And I'm like, how?
Well,
so
other, like, when we're just in a park or a new place, like, and sometimes we're not vlogging something, but Tim is like, I still want to get Instagram stuff. And sometimes I'm just in my, like, I want to see things with my eyes mode and not see things through my, like, I took barely any photos on this trip we took to the Virgin Islands.
I took a lot, though.
He did, but I didn't. Like, I was just like, wow, I'm just looking at all the beautiful things, and I have a hard time, like, wanting to see things through the camera, which when I'm walking through a haunt and my job at that walkthrough is to get real stuff, like, I have to really focus on what is the camera seeing versus what I'm seeing. So I'm getting better at it. Am I perfect? Nah.
But
I'm
to
getting
that
better.
to that perfect pivot point, Katie did also take over the camera for a lot more of 2023's vlogs.
I did have some shooting.
Which is not to say that, like, she's the primary shooter, because we all know it's my ugly mug doing a lot of the narration and whatnot. But, you know, we, at some point in 2022, we had to sit down where we were like, Katie wanted to be more actively involved in the vlogs, and she wanted to take point on videos. So I started asking, actually, I think it was during our Disneyland trip, I asked, like, what vlogs you wanted to take point on.
I did the
and you said the food vlogs. You said, I want to do the Festival of the Holidays because...
Well, I made up my food. I like
made
up my food crawl.
You have done a pretty good job of putting together food crawl lists for us, too.
Yeah, behind the scenes, I am the one who researches like the holiday or seasonal snacks, and then I'll put together which ones we want to try. So I do some research, and I look at the shows and decide which shows we're trying to see sometimes too. So sometimes my involvement is more behind the scenes.
A lot of your involvement is behind the scenes, but this is a little bit of an inside look at how we function as a couple too, not just as a channel. But like, we've had some discussions about striking a good balance between like how much talking each of us is doing and whether it looks like one of us is overshadowing the other, because we don't want it to be a Tim vlog or a Katie vlog. We want it to be Tim and Katie's vlogs. But it's hard. It's hard for me too to like not so much give up the spotlight, but more so give control over how the edit is going to turn out. Because when you're shooting, especially if knowing that I am going to be the one editing, I'm often thinking like, okay, I don't have a transition piece there, but if I say this at exactly the right cadence or exactly the right way, I can use that as a transition piece. I just have to make sure it's a good clip. And then I completely forget, like, Katie should probably say something too here and there. And so it's more so like my perfectionism takes over and she winds up getting sidelined sometimes. So we're working on that, and we have been working on that for a while. And hopefully you'll see over the course of our 2023 vlogs.
The smile and nod.
You're not a smiler or a nodder.
I'm the smile and nod.
You are not a smiler or a nodder. Although she is very much a pretty face, she is not just a pretty face.
For a second, I thought that was an insult, and then I realized you made it not an insult.
I turned it into something complimentary.
My brain was like, well, dang, on the live stream, in front of my friends.
In front of my friends! You're embarrassing me in front of company! Anyway, Katie's actually the point person for 65% of our most recent vlog because I was in costume at Laurel's House of Horror and placed in the maze. So if you haven't seen that, do check it out. She did a great job. And she did a great job with the other vlogs she shot this year too. But we are working on finding more of a balance and a cadence so that it's Tim and Katie, not just Tim or Katie. Oh!
Yeah.
First merch. We
made
pins and magnets this year. We've made magnets before, but they've mostly been for ourselves. The pins we've been handing out to pretty much anyone who wants them. We don't have a ton of these left because we've been doing that. And they've been far more popular than we anticipated, but I am very happy with how these turned out.
Yeah.
So if you want one and you see us in the parks or at a haunt or anywhere nearby, we probably have them on us. So please do let us know if you want pins to hit the open market, because I will have to order a new batch soon in order to satisfy the freebies that I'm handing out. We might be willing to put them up if you're willing to pay for them. If not, and you don't care, that's fine too.
That's fine.
I'll just keep 120 of them from the next order for myself.
Oh, we ordered like 50, didn't we?
No, I think you have to order a minimum of like 80 or 75, somewhere around that. Well, it's more than 50, but it's not necessarily 100. Anyway.
I've enjoyed handing them out.
Yes. Yes. I think we share a vision.
Yeah.
Right?
But sometimes because I'm not really super involved in the edit, I don't know what it is we're doing.
Yeah.
But if it's a haunt vlog, there is a cadence to the haunt vlogs. Yeah, I don't want to call them formulaic, but there is like.
Well, it depends if it's a haunt we've never been to before or a haunt like field that we know the territory, we know how we're going to edit it, because the edits typically turn out a certain way.
When we're doing like daylight walkthroughs of haunts and stuff like that, we're both shooting on 2 different cameras, so a lot of that B-roll is stuff that I've shot too.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, she's typically the GoPro shooter and I'm typically the G7X, our primary camera. I'm shooting with that.
Again, sometimes my involvement is just not as obvious because the camera's not pointed at my face,
but often it is pointed at your face. You have a very cute face.
You don't need to keep telling me my face is cute.
Yes, I do. Gage, we did touch on this and spent a little bit too much time on it earlier in the live stream, so I don't want to force you to go backwards. But we will.
The one sentence
you'll get more out of us if you go backwards.
So much fun, so much work, so much respect for you guys.
So much new respect for haunt actors. Yeah.
10 out of 10 experience.
10 out of 10. Okay. And we're on to 2024.
The looking forward part.
The looking forward to things next year. So, we've already talked about what our New Year's plans are. We're going to be spending a weekend in Hershey to flip over the year. So we will start out our year with a little bit of content. And that goes back to the content calendar and figuring out the balance and the cadence and everything, because that will be content that's paced out all the way through January while I'm recovering from oral surgery. So, what happens after all of that? What's our next plan? Well, I don't really have one. We have goals. We have milestones we'd like to reach. So the first one, and I don't want to think of this as a gimme. We are very close to 2,000 subscribers. Our giveaway helped us out a lot. So we thank everyone who entered the giveaway, and we hope that you're enjoying the content that you've been seeing since subscribing and commenting on our Christmas vlogs. But for everyone else who's just finding us for the first time, we are really close to 2,000 subscribers. We would love to hit that milestone early in the year, and hopefully by the time we get to haunt season, we might even hit our stretch goal of 2,500. At the end of the day, this isn't so much about how many people are following us as it is about the kind of content that we're putting out and the community we're building. But having a certain number of followers, for lack of a better explanation, makes it easier to put that content out.
Yeah.
Because you do get more access, you get invited to more places, you get to see more of the kind of stuff that we love to see and shoot and put out there if you have an established audience that showcases what you do. So 2,000 subscribers is the goal for Q1 2024. It's your call whether to go by calendar quarter or fiscal quarter. As soon as possible, we would love to break that milestone. And again, by the time we hit haunt season, it would be great to break 2,500. But these are just goals, not requirements.
Yeah.
We would also, building on exactly that, would love to build a bigger community. And when I say a community, I don't just mean the audience that is following us or the people that are interested exclusively in what we do. I'm also talking about like media connections. Like we met a lot of other vloggers, other haunters in particular this year. We have made a lot of really great friends in this community and other communities like it. We would love to keep doing that, just making new connections, maybe being invited to some new places. That's always a goal. It's never, again, a requirement, and I don't want to like, I'm not trying to ingratiate myself to anyone out there by saying this, but it would be really cool to showcase more of what other people, smaller haunts, theme parks, whatever is going on in our orbit. We'd love to showcase more of that, and that involves making more connections, being invited places with permission to film. We'd love to have that opportunity. So that's another goal. And I think it's a relatively easy goal to hit because it's so vague. So anyone who invites us anywhere or anyone who asks us to be a part of their community, boxes checked. Yeah. We would love to visit new haunts too on that same line. We have this problem every year where we run out of time because there's only 4 weekends in October when a lot of haunts are only open in October. There's only 4 weekends in September and most haunts don't start until Labor Day. So by then you're down to 3. That's 7 weekends, y'all. 7 weekends on average that you have to do everything. We hate doing double headers when we can avoid it because it just leaves us burnt out and headed into the work week with just like so much on our shoulders, so much to edit. So we try to do one haunt a weekend, and a lot of the haunts are haunts we've been to before. That is just because we love the haunts that we go to so much. The local haunts, the home haunts that we visit.
And there are always new stuff to see. So
it's not like it's boring.
We don't feel like we're doing the same thing, but at the end of every season, people are like, well, have you been here? Have you been here? Have you been here? And the answer is mostly no.
And also like not just no, but like we have no excuse to say no type no. Yeah. Like it's right down the street from us. We've never been, et cetera, et cetera.
We're not above checking out a place we can't vlog either. Like we still would like to experience these places, but the problem is because of content creation, we're probably also going to prioritize places we can film. It's kind of a tricky thing, but we do want to we have a long list of bucket list haunts or just places we want to check out in our area that we would like to, tick off a few every year.
And we've talked about too, on that same note, like there are haunts that I don't think we're probably ever going to be allowed to film because we're too small, and that's okay. It's not going to eat away at us that we're not able to film at certain places than we are at others. But to make those things work, to visit those haunts and see those things as incredible as they're expected to be, that means probably going out there on like a Thursday or a Friday and then like double heading and doing something content wise the following day. Because haunt season is our busiest season. We are pulled in a lot of different directions, both directions that we want to go in and directions that we have no idea what we're doing and are excited to experience. So places that we can't film, we will eventually make it to, whether we can film there or not. It's just a matter of prioritizing, as Katie said, the places that we can shoot so that we have content to release and that we're helping them grow their audiences, which we feel is kind of a welcome obligation, but an obligation nonetheless. And then turning it around to go to someplace fun that we can't film, but that we might be able to talk about on a live stream at some point.
Right.
We're at somewhere around 267 coaster credits. We would love to break 300 in 2024 as well. And that necessitates going to new parks because we've ridden all the coasters in our home parks. I think we've pretty much done what we can do.
Yeah.
There will be some theme park vlogs from places we've not been yet in 2024. I can't tell you where or when. It's not probably going to be Cedar Point. I'll just take that off the table right now.
Yeah.
But we will be going to some entirely new parks, new to us, and riding some new coasters for the first time and talking about those experiences. And we can't wait to do that. Whether or not we break 300, it'll just be fun to experience new roller coasters. Travel further. Higher, further, faster, baby.
We travel, I think more of, it's not so much like traveling further.
Let me
as it is,
let me
like,
explain
more
what was going through my
travels.
mind when I put
Yeah.
that there. So it's not travel further than the Netherlands or you can only go so far before you're just looping around the globe and coming back, right? So what I mean is, like, I count the mileage of our trips each year. You will see the stats from our year in our highlight reels description this year, and we basically doubled the amount of mileage we covered
Going
from
across the Atlantic
2022 to
helps.
2023. So that was pretty cool. Would love to keep at that.
Yeah.
So when I say travel further, I mean go new places, push ourselves to explore, experience, and adventure, which is kind of like the subtitle of our channel still to this day, and see new things.
I like all that.
That doesn't necessarily mean like traveling halfway around the world. Sometimes this stuff we haven't experienced is like down the street.
Yeah,
but
there's plenty we haven't seen even on this coast, really.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of the United States we still would like to see.
Oh, Tim's going to Cedar Point.
For Top Thrill 2.
Top Thrill 2. Anyone else think that was kind of a weird choice? Top Thrill 2 for a name, not for like building a coaster. Obviously, the coaster is very popular. Top Thrill 2. Just no subtitle.
What did you want? Like Live Free or Die Hard or something?
Live Free or Top Thrill.
What is does Die Hard 2 have a subtitle? I don't think it has a subtitle.
Nope. Actually, Die Hard 2, Die Harder is literally the subtitle in some countries. Not in America, but in some countries. No, that's a real thing. Our supplemental is have a strong off season, and that means having content to pace out during the cold winter months. And funny that Mandy should pop on when she did, because we have some things tentatively planned with Laurel's House of Horror and the staff and the team there that will help us kind of get through those cold, dark winter months, while also showcasing some incredible things that they do during their off season. Because despite being a spooky maze at certain times of the year, they also have some incredible event offerings at Laurel's House of Horror that are year round. So there's that to look forward to too.
Yep.
But just in general, like anything that we think is going to be interesting or fun to do during January, February, March, when typically it's so cold in the Northeast that a lot of the theme parks and events
There's
are
just
closed.
not a lot of like vloggable things to do. It's not like we don't have anything to do, but you know, not a lot of content creating kind of things to do.
Oh, that would have been a better name. The Second Lap. That would have been so much better.
Yeah. Cause like even like Loch Ness has like The Legend Lives On, right?
Yeah. Loch Ness is coming. We're gonna get a member preview, I think, for Loch Ness if we don't have somewhere else to be, but we often have somewhere else to be by the time they announce things. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. Last goal for 2024. It's potentially our biggest,
We're setting ourselves
hardest,
up for failure here.
It's our hardest goal, our hardest milestone that we've ever set for ourselves. Actually keep up with our website.
I don't think did we make any haunt season posts?
Nope.
Oh,
not a single one.
Oh no.
Our last website post is from our Las Vegas trip.
Oh.
And not even day 2. It was day 1 of our
We have
Las Vegas
so
trip.
many haunt vlogs.
We have a lot of vlogs, a lot of content that we have to write blogs for. But here's why we do it, and here's why we haven't done it. Why we do it is to showcase a little more of what we don't shoot in the vlogs when we can, when it's available to write about, and also to give ourselves a little bit of an SEO boost, which doesn't really matter as much as putting out new content. So it's kind of like the shoemaker who makes shoes for other people but is like barefoot himself because he doesn't have time to make his own shoes. It's that kind of problem.
Yeah.
And the reason that we haven't done it and haven't prioritized it is because, for me at least, when I'm writing these blog posts, and I know Katie is when Katie writes a blog post, and some of them, many of them actually are written by Katie, she tries to go into like immense and creative detail so that she can talk about like, this was my favorite part of the event. This was my favorite thing that we did.
Well, I also like go into things that, like Tim said, maybe we didn't include because it got cut from the edit or something.
Stuff that like,
and I had a really hard time not gushing about like Netherlands and Efteling and stuff like that. So,
and that's exactly why our website is so far behind, because we want to highlight, we want to take the time to write like a page, like a Word document, several pages worth of highlights from what we did or didn't do, things that we can include photos in and all that.
Yeah.
Because we want to shout out people that we've met, the places that we've been.
Yeah. We won't lie though, there are some times where I basically take the video,
copy and paste the video description
and add a little bit more fluff, and then if we really, so that's honestly probably how we're gonna have to catch up with haunt season.
Nope, I refuse. I'm gonna do in-depth haunt hosts for everything we did this year, because everything we did this year was great.
It was.
But anyway, it was a heck of a year, and we're hoping that bring back Twinkle Gold soon. You guys, if you haven't seen our vlog from Laurel's holiday event, you got to check it out.
You got to meet Twinkle Gold.
It was one for the books for a lot of different reasons. There are going to be inside jokes on this channel for decades to come. But anyways, to bring it all back, it's been a heck of a year. 2024 is shaping up to be another heck of a year for many different reasons. And things are going to be a little bit, I think, different in terms of like how much we travel, what we shoot, how many off-season events we go to at what places, so on and so forth. But there's still going to be a lot of the same old Tim and Katie stuff that you've I think grown to appreciate and hopefully cherish over the past year. I feel like 2022 was the year we started figuring out how our vlogs were going to look, and 2023 was where we really got a handle on it. And so we thank you all for being part of this journey. It's been a fun year.
It has.
You have anything else?
I'm just grateful. I feel like we, even though like we mentioned our goal is to network and meet or make more connections, I feel like that is something we definitely did this year too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely people, in the chat right now who we did not know
at the beginning of 2023. Oh yeah.
So it's been nice. It's still a great way to connect with people who, live all across the country. Some of you even across the world.
And it has given us an excuse to check out, visit, experience, and explore places and get to know people that we never would have otherwise probably known or experienced. So we thank you guys for your support this past year. We're super excited to start 2024 strong, and we hope that you'll join us for what you can of this journey moving into the new year.
We do wish you all the best in the new year, because we won't be speaking to you until after the year turns over.
Well, not by a live stream, but we will have a lot of vlogs coming out between now and then.
Addressing.
And we hope that you all had a very Merry Christmas and or holiday season. Kayla got a set of cool Christmas puppy socks that she's very excited about. I noticed that earlier. I was just waiting for a good lead-in. All right, let's wrap it up. Our creator spotlight tonight. I just posted a reel this morning from Scaredy Bears. Well, not from Scaredy Bears by Saf. We put together a little highlight for products from Scaredy Bears by Saf. It's our friend Sapphire that builds these handmade bears that are very spooky and magically monstrous, and she does a phenomenal job with it. Small shop creator that's working full-time at a haunt and also still attending school. So
I was going to say, I don't think she's working full-time
during haunt season.
Yes. She's a full haunt season.
Full season. It's hard. We know it's hard. We did it.
I know. We did it for a day. It was hard work.
It's a lot of work. And then on top of that, running an Etsy shop, rock star. Absolute rock star.
Definitely.
So please support our friend Sapphire by checking out Scaredy Bears by Saf on Instagram. Her Etsy shop is just Scaredy Bears, but you'll see her profile picture there. So you'll know you're on the right shop. The bears are lovely. If you haven't seen them, check out our reels. We just published one today that features them. Lift.launch.lovecoasters is an Instagram account which has brought my joy, brought my life joy very recently. Brought my joy. I'm going to start saying that just so that I don't have to correct it.
Brought my joy.
I'm going to start pretending I do this on purpose. Anyway, they're a theme park enthusiast, coaster loving couple that travels and explores and experiences just like us. Their home park is King's Dominion, actually.
Oh, not
So
far.
it's possible that we run into one another at some point someday. But in the meantime, love following their Instagram content, have a lot of roller coaster content, but also just a lot of like atmospheric theme park stuff, which I think puts us at a similar pace in life. We also like atmosphere. And then Haley went where, similar vibe, but very much her own brand. We love interacting with Haley. She's been really great and supportive of our channel from the beginning. She has an Instagram and a Threads account. I don't think she has anything else right now, but she's very busy keeping up with those two. So if you haven't heard of Haley, check her out. She goes all over the country doing theme park stuff, sometimes solo, sometimes with her family, but more power to her because I cannot keep up. I can't keep that same pace. So we're really impressed and enamored of her work and her fun. Our next live stream, as we have mentioned, is not going to be for a bit because we have to push it back due to my getting my head torn apart. But we're going to do our annual Ask Me Anything. So if you guys have any questions you would like answered, feel free to drop them in the comments of this. After this live stream closes out, it will become a standard video for replay where you can drop standing comments in the comments block like you would on any other video. You can ask us questions there. You can ask us questions. We'll make a community post. You can send us direct messages on Instagram, Facebook. We'll collect up whatever questions that you have and make it the subject of a future live stream. That'll be, I believe, 3 weeks from today.
That sounds right.
So we'll see, but I'm pretty sure it'll be 3 weeks out. And that, I think, is that.
That is that.
I'm glad you guys love the real Ken. Ken may or may not be Sapphire's father.
He was also Krampus.
He was also a killer Krampus
Field of
at
Screams.
Field of Screams, which was awesome. Yeah, okay. I think we covered all our bases.
I think so too.
Happy New Year, you guys.
Happy New Year.
Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for sticking it out. We had a pretty good audience on this one. I was expecting
yeah.
I was expecting everyone to be comatose today after Christmas, taking it all out of you. But we appreciate you all joining us. I mean, I put me to sleep sometimes. Just listening to me talk.
I kind of want to go to sleep now.
Happy New Year if we don't talk to you before, and we will look forward to catching up with you all in 2024. I'm Tim.
I'm Katie.
And every night
is a new adventure.
And we will see you again next year.